Let me suck this sucker down. Alright, motherfucker, so here's how it went. If I seem quiet, just let me know. I'm in the same general vicinity as Amy and Schmidt bed. They've got it kind of run in the background here. Let's see if I can pull that off. I've got decent internet with the little tether hotspot weirdness I have set up, but there is a line. I'm not sure if my in-laws watching Netflix over in the other room, me streaming your channel while chatting is the line. I know. I see the Fallout 4 or 3 screen. Alright. No, there was a lot of good stuff. We're gonna have to use your notes for sure because I don't organism as well. My discussions are always right after the facts. They kind of spread all over the place. But I wrote down a couple things this time. So there's something to talk about. Of course I have shit to talk about, but specific things to talk about. Sounds good.
Hello everyone, welcome. So today we're talking about Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 3, The Queen's Justice. Let's go ahead and begin. How you guys doing? I am Michael Fight, and with me is my very special guest, Mr. Mike Wyant Jr. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
So welcome. So Mike, just at the beginning, why don't you go ahead and give us a little background about yourself, and then we'll begin.
All right. I am definitely Ryan Reynolds, so we'll start there. I am, nowadays, I'm actually just a writer. So I'm working writing for a living, meaning I live off of various levels of public... No, I'm joking. I actually have a job in that field now, which is awesome. I've got a book out that I self-published, don't get too excited, called Immortal, that is available on Amazon, iBookstore, all that sort of stuff. And I just write random stuff for a living now. So I think that's probably good enough. Yeah, because I'm excited. I'm ready to get into this thing, man.
Yeah, and for those in our live Twitch chat, if you do command guest in chat, you will see a link to Mike Wyant's Amazon page where you're able to pick up some of his copies of work, and I highly recommend it. Man, so the Queen's Justice, and holy shit, did she lay down some justice. So
yeah, it was fantastic. We finally got to see Cersei be who you know she's going to be the entire previous 6 seasons.
Yeah, and it absolutely seems like she is kind of letting loose. Like, when she literally just walked right out and was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let everyone see me and Jamie together. Let's do it. Like, this is it. She's just, that's it. She's just unleashed. Cersei unleashed.
Yeah, there's a strain of ballsy moves. And the best part, and very rarely do I find myself rooting Cersei for anything, because ultimately she's awesome at being a hated character. But this entire episode, I was like, yeah, girl, go get it. Like, let's do this. Let's make it happen. Murder everybody. Kill everything. Leave the door open. Do whatever.
Yeah. And that's exactly what she did too. So I love the fact that we'll dive right into Cersei because she was a big part of this. I love the fact, one, we get to see Mycroft again. That was cool.
Mycroft is always above tradition.
Yeah, so Mycroft is the leader of the bank. But I love that she had a really smart plan. That she knew that they were coming after Casterly Rock. Figured out that that's what they're doing. Whether she knew about the sewer or not is yet to be seen. But the fact that she was like, no, go follow the money. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been mentioning for several seasons now that there's nothing in Casterly Rock. It's just this little. It is a literal golden tower on a hill type of thing that people look at as a symbol, but it doesn't actually have anything anymore. Yeah. So it was awesome to see that finally come around, where the Lannisters finally go, it's just a building. We don't care. We're gonna go get some cash.
Right, let's get the cash, money, cash, hose, man. So that was obviously Cersei's big plan, looking for the gold to try to get it, and I mean, she got it, and then the Greyjoys kind of cleaning up the Navy a little bit too. Again,
the thing about Cersei this episode that I couldn't get over was that she's always been a somewhat one-dimensional character with complicated side arcs. This is the first time we see everything in one episode. We see the grieving mother for a very brief second, but it's a really powerful moment because it's delivered in a way that feels true to the character. When she asks the Sand Snake there, I can't remember her first name.
Yeah. The Danish woman. Yeah.
Yeah, she says, why did you do that? It's just this. It's not, how could you do that? It's not this delivered, threatening thing. It's this plea that you never get out of Cersei.
Right.
You've never gotten that level of just, how could you do that to another person type of thing. I thought that was incredibly powerful, especially considering everything else that happens afterwards. She outthinks the Iron Bank. She outplans Tyrion, which she's never actually managed to pull that one off. She beats Daenerys in the first real test of wills, and she just outmaneuvers everybody. And you always know through the entire series that she has that capability, but she's never able to do it because there's always some fucking guy in the way telling her she's being stupid.
Absolutely. And now she's never truly been, as much as she was queen, she never truly was queen. She's always had too many people, as you said, there's too many guys in her way trying to, wear the crown. And it truly needed to be her to be truly unleashed. Mark West in chat brings up a really good point. Hopefully Tyrion stops putting their army on water for Euron to destroy.
Yeah. I'm talking about a mistake.
Yeah, twice. Twice now they've made that mistake.
Although I know the timing's a little off. It's one of the first thing I thought when I looked out there. I was like, oh my god, they sent the Unsullied over water again. Didn't they send the Unsullied and the Greyjoys out at the same time? So it's
yeah, I would assume they probably left at the same time, but the Greyjoys or the Unsullied would have to have landed later. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just this weird time thing where you're looking at it going, dude, you fucking noob, why'd you do that?
Right, yeah, the time for it's tough when you can't memorize the map of how long does it take to get from point A and point B. There's a lot of scenes where you're like, this probably took months, and we're viewing it in a matter of hours. So
yeah, what do you mean you haven't memorized the map? I don't understand.
Right, I know I'm not at that Tolkien level where I'm like, well, actually, they took the Eagles up to the thing,
It takes 2.5 weeks to go down around.
Right. Yeah, so the general consensus is they left at about the same time. So it was kind kind of okay, everybody go type deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, from both sides. So again, and you make a very good point, Cersei, on like unleashing her wrath, and we see Cersei as not only the mama cub, mama bear protecting her cubs, but she's now that vengeance, and I think that actually is going to end up being her downfall.
I do too, but there's a part of me that wishes that 2 seasons ago they would have just let her go. The entire story would have been so much different if you.
Yeah.
And this is a side thing; it has nothing to do with it. But if we saw this Cersei, well, she still had her kids. Well, she was but she was in charge, and she wasn't stopped at every corner. It would. I have this hard time seeing her, and this is going to be controversial in a way. I think that as it goes for medieval monarchs, she would probably be a pretty decent one in that, because of her ability to handle so many different facets of things at once.
Right.
As long as
and when it really comes down to it, Cersei doesn't. She's not like sadistic. She doesn't want to hurt people. She just wants everyone to know that she's the queen, that she's in charge.
Right.
That's it. She just wants her family protected and power. That's it. She does not care about. She's not out to just hurt people for the sake of hurting people. She just wants loyalty.
She didn't used to be.
Well, I mean, now she's doing it, for a somewhat legitimate reason. Well, I mean, given the fact that she is, essentially the bad guy of this story, when it really boils down to it, Cersei's only doing this out of reaction. She wanted what she wanted. Too many people challenged her and hurt her by hurting her family, because that's all she cares about. And now this is her just being like, oh, okay, well, guess what? I'm still queen bitch, and I'm gonna fuck you up.
It's definitely one of those, so that's how it's going to be?
Yes.
That's how it's going to be.
Yes, that's exactly, that's a perfect example of that. Which
you do not talk about Fight Club.
To a few other things. So Euron Greyjoy calling out Jaime when he was standing there. Oof.
He is such a awesome character, such a horrible person.
He's such a horrible, he's just a gross person, in general.
He's a gross, sexual predator version of Han Solo, and I love it.
That's exactly what he is. Literally that. It's Han Solo with no morals.
Yeah. There's no heart of gold here. There's just this weird shit in there. His heart's not made of anything really. It's just this bundle of wires and gross.
Right.
It's slimy if you touch it.
Yeah. Oh man. So Euron Greyjoy. Oh man, he's just, and he feels like such a rock star. They're painting him out to be this awful, drug fueled, sex crazed rock star of yeah, fuck yeah, I'll kill a bunch of people. Let's do this shit. Hey, I'm gonna sleep with your sister, and you did too. Tell me about that. And that was fun.
Yeah.
So
I thought for a second Jaime was gonna throw down.
Oh my god, I wanted
I
so
thought there was
bad
a
for
moment.
them to go at it.
Jaime would have died.
You think so?
Yeah, because we got Braun in the final scene.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they have continued training, and if they haven't, then no, Jaime's not that good.
Right.
And Euron is definitely good.
And
we got to see in action last episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he would have been pretty crazy about it, so that he would have just been bah, pull out knives, pull out swords, and Jaime would have been trying to have an honorable sword fight.
Yeah.
It just would have not gone in his favor, and then Euron would have been see what I'm saying? Jaime's crazy. The Lannisters are fucked. Take over the throne.
Murder everybody.
Yeah. So Juggalette just pointed in the chat. A friend of his did a laser cut 3D map of Westeros, and that's pretty awesome.
I've seen that.
It's pretty damn cool.
I think I know who Juggalette is, but is Juggalette able to post a picture?
He posted a link in chat. Yep, so we can.
Awesome.
Yeah, her friend. Sorry, excuse me. I should have guessed by the fact that it said Juggalette and not Juggalo.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. I would totally hang that on my wall. Mark West with those bits. Thank you very much, sir. But yeah, so Juggalette with the 3D map. Now you know what? I wonder if that's a to scale map. I should use that to we can measure out and be like, now how long would it take to go
If I remember correctly, it at least is proportional.
Yeah, it looks great. That's fantastic, Juggalette.
Yeah.
So yeah, Euron Greyjoy, fucking Euron Greyjoy. So Euron Greyjoy has the Dorns. He's really putting himself up to be. I just my notes on this just say fuck this guy, or is it this fucking guy?
Absolutely fucking horrible, but he's so spectacular.
But he is. I think you're gonna see him go toe to toe with a few people. He's gonna cause some damage before he gets cut down, because it's inevitable that he's gonna get cut down. There's no way a guy like that lasts for much longer. But he's gonna do some damage.
That's not a guarantee. Remember, this is George R.R. Martin at its core. And
well, I mean, in all fairness,
cut down when they do stupid things.
Yes,
they don't get cut down because they're over the top.
Right. And he's just kind of sliding in the middle. Yeah, fuck Euron.
Yeah, he just kind of is riding around like, I'm not doing stupid stuff, but man, am I enjoying the ride?
But man, am I doing great? Yes, and he is. He's putting in some work. Let me tell you, man. And speaking of hashtag fuck Reek, man. He was only in it for a second, but like, yo, fuck Reek. So he's rescued, and I guess he's ready for redemption. Theon, I would love it if Theon killed, absolutely love it if Theon killed Euron, but I just don't see it happening.
I don't know. Here's the thing about you, Theon. I love the character. Because remember, way back when he was super cocky about everything,
Everything,
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely everything. He was such an asshole. And he was brought down so low in a way none of us can really kind of process.
Right.
But right now, what he is the epitome of someone that's trying to overcome PTSD.
Right.
And if you think about it, like, he freaked out at the end when everybody's caught, everybody's going to be captured, and people are getting carved up. The fact that his entire PTSD thing is triggered by cutting people, the fact that he killed a bunch of folks before that happened, you got to give him some credit.
Yeah, I mean, he tried, and the statement that he makes when he gets rescued, he said, I saw her, I tried, and I like where they're like, well, if you truly would have tried, you wouldn't be standing here. But I mean, to his credit, the fact that Reek lived is, I feel like, important. I think it's important that Theon lives, because if he would have gone toe-to-toe with Euron Greyjoy, he would have died, and that's not the way Reek dies. It's not. Yeah. Because he will have a redeeming factor, whether it's a minor one, whether he saves his sister, whether he, kills whoever. Like, he's going to have a redeeming factor, and then eventually will die, because we all know every man dies.
Yep.
Right. Man and woman, I should say, but that's.
I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up maybe not killing Euron, but someone important, and it not be this panicky like freak out thing. But him actually,
oh shit, I've actually killed someone. Like, no, this is it. Like, here's my like breaking point. Like, no, I'm no longer Reek. I am Theon, and there's going to be that moment where he's going to say that, because someone's going to call him out as Reek. What if he kills like Littlefinger? That would be interesting.
Huh. It would be, but the only person that would call him Reek, Euron.
Yeah, this is true. Well, I mean, who else knows him as Reek?
Anybody who is connected to the flayed men.
Yeah.
Blanking on the family name.
Yeah.
Shit. Anyway,
not many left.
People like the skin people, yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems like one of those things Euron would know. Oh, they would know, because the entire island knew. Yeah,
they told everybody. That was like their bargaining tool to get Yara and Theon basically out, to be like, you're not even a man anymore, which is why he didn't claim the throne as well. The other reason.
Right.
Yep. The Boltons.
They got his dick in a box.
He's got his dick in a box. Yep, that's it's my dick in a box. All right. So we got Reek. We have Euron. He's just Euron.
Euron.
Let's briefly talk about Sam. So Samuel Tarly. He I just love his quote.
George R. R. Martin.
Yes, where he's like, yes, and he was like, so, how did you do this? And he goes, I read the book and followed the instructions. What a brilliant and perfectly Tarly line. Like, right. That is exactly what Tarly would say. What Sam would say.
The thing I found interesting about that line, I wrote it down, is the fact that he says, I followed the instructions. Every maester in this entire series, this entire universe, has such a fucking ego.
They do.
It's out of this world, and yet you have Sam Tarly, who's actually a noble, there digging, slopping shit, and when it comes down to saving a man's life, he goes, well, if someone spent this much time on it, it must be right, and I respect this.
Yeah.
And that's what's going to change this entire storyline, is someone saying, well, people aren't stupid. I mean, they took the time to do this, right? So they must be right. I don't have to change
researched it, tested it. Yeah, absolutely. And Sam is the guy that respects science. He respects science. That's like his number one passion, and that's where his gods are. Where everyone is fighting for family and honor. Sam's like, no, I'm just fighting for fact. I'm fighting for truth, and that's his thing. And I think outside of the dragon glass and this sort of cure thing, Sam's gonna come in. Bowling for Penguin says Sam the real MVP.
Sam the real MVP.
He absolutely
I was just gonna call that out.
Yeah, and he absolutely is gonna be. I think you're gonna see him play a very large role as well when it comes to defeating the White Walkers outside of just Dragonglass, because I think there's more to it.
Yeah,
because we have Sam with science, we have Bran with magic. We have Daenerys with dragons, and then we have Jon Snow with just fucking heart and will. So like the four of them are going to converge, and then we'll have the Battle of White Walkers eventually.
It'll be pretty fantastic. I would argue Daenerys also just has complete and utter drive, which I'm assuming you might be going to her next, right?
Yes. Yep. Daenerys is going to be a big part. Yeah. So Daenerys. Now we've covered Sam, because Sam had just a little bit, and Jorah going back to Daenerys.
Yeah.
So Daenerys started this episode kind of pissing me off, because this is the first time I've seen her be very arrogant.
She's done it a couple times, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that, my thing is that every other time we've seen Daenerys step up and be like, no, I'm the fucking mother of dragons, the breaker of chains, and the blah, 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 is because she's trying to prove a point, and she's trying to be like, no, like, respect me, I've done things, I'm not just a Targaryen, I am this person who built this life myself. But this was the one time where I felt like she's saying this to try to use her name to hold it over Jon Snow. Like, that's what I felt. And I felt like it was a little off-kilter for even Daenerys. And I like the fact that she eventually broke down and kind of got humbled by the fact that her army got slapped around and a couple of different assets,
Well, she is one thing to respond to that. She's always used the name kind of like as a cloak. Yeah. So it's been this thing that covers her, and she always can fall back on it, even if it doesn't mean anything. So she always has had, the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms and all that sort of thing. Way before Breaker of Chains, way before Mother of Dragons, she always had that, and it never meant anything. It was just filler. So now that I took it to be that now that she's actually in the Seven Kingdoms, she's like, well, this must mean something because all my other ones do. And when she uses it, and the first person that she calls to come pledge allegiance after she lands comes up and goes, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Why would I do that?
Right.
I think she just has this moment where she's like, but I'm the fucking queen of the Seven Kingdoms. You can't say that to me. Yeah. Like, because she's earned every other one of her names, but she hasn't quite processed the fact that she hasn't earned that one.
Right. Yeah, and I think, and she brought it up a couple times of like, I am the true heir because I am a Targaryen. Little does she know. Yeah. By all means, technically, Jon Snow is the true heir, I guess.
If Bran shows up, that'll change it.
Yeah, exactly. I think, once Jon goes back, he's going to be like, wait a minute, what? I got to go back to... I got to go back to Daenerys and be like, yo, sister... but yeah, so and you're absolutely right. Like she is, she has earned her names, by blood and by by, you know, putting her foot down and proving that, you know, she is not just a Targaryen, but she can be a true queen. And so this is the first time where it really threw her, and I think it pissed her off. But I think mainly out of frustration, because this was a greater challenge than, say, getting burned alive and being like, haha, I can't burn, or just letting loose her dragons. You know, this is a challenge of wills. This is politics, and she has yet to truly face politics.
No, she's always been able to force through it, and it really came to a head there when she went through the line of shit she's had to deal with.
Right.
And it's a big line. It's a lot of stuff, and no one should ever have to go through that. But she's going through it and reading it off, and it kind of goes back to a writing trope, which is show don't tell.
Right.
So she's telling him, "I've gone through this. I've been raped. I've been, you know," and we all know it. We've all been there. We've sat there. Like, I know I've cried more than once. Some of the shit she's had to deal with, and then Jon Snow's just like, I don't mean to be rude, but that doesn't mean anything to me. Right. Like, I don't know you. You can say this as much as you want. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think she's going to come across that a lot more when she starts, you know, trying to build allies. And I think her giving Jon Snow the glass is going to be super important for them being allies. Obviously, that's, you know, Tyrion's thing. But I think she's going to learn some things about Jon Snow. Like, she kind of brought up the whole, wait, did you hear that part about getting stabbed in the heart? And they were both like, yeah, I think she's going to learn about that. And that's going to change her perspective on Jon Snow a lot. I think that's going to be her turning point, where she's going to be like, hang on, you know, regardless of me trying to get my namesake, there's more to this.
Yeah, I wonder if it's going to freak her out, though, because you just had Melisandre show up and say that, you know, her translation's all screwed up and whatever.
Right.
And now, the prince or princess that was promised is supposed to come back from the dead, if I remember right.
Right.
And so she's going to find out Jon Snow's come back from the dead. How does someone like Daenerys, who believes wholeheartedly in the self-righteousness that keeps her going to handle knowing that person might actually be the one that was quote-unquote promised?
Right.
I don't know. That's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
But I think that if and when she finds out he is actually a Targaryen, that might lead to it's us, not him, it's us. Like, we're the ones that are supposed to be in charge, you know?
That's interesting. I never actually thought about it. What if it's not prince/princess? What if it's prince or princess?
Yeah. I mean, it could be both, because they are both the prince and princess. And that's what she could, you know, maybe Melisandre translates that, which, by the way, we're just going to briefly mention Melisandre and Varys, where she's like, no, I'll be back to die, and so will you. And he was just like, fuck.
Varys is very, very rarely creeped out. At that time, he was like,
well, he hates
he was like, that's going to be a meme. That's going to the face he makes is going to be a meme. It's going to be like, bitch, please, what? What? What did you just say to me? Yeah, no, that's going to be a meme tomorrow morning. It might be after this channel stuff.
It better be everywhere. I want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Jon Snow. So to add and just to get a little thing, so Jon Snow sees dragons for the very first time.
That was fantastic.
And I love the in passing. He was like, "Oh shit!" And he's looking up like, "What the fuck?" And Tyrion's like, "Yeah, I'd like to say you get used to him, but." But the line in passing, which will lead us to our next person we chat about, the line in passing where Tyrion was like, "Oh, I hope, you know, Sansa's doing well. She really is much smarter than she lets on." Jon Snow, she's starting to let on, which I thought was just genius.
Also fantastic.
Just a great. Yeah. And then we, you know, brings us to Sansa. So Sansa is showing her muscle as a queen.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yes, please.
Yeah, Marquess has said that was great acting. The dialogue this season and the end of last season has just popped up so far. The level, the quality, the interactions and everything is just so far above anything I'm used to anymore. It feels like all these people are, they all just work together, and it's effortless now. There's not there's no awkwardness. There's no like stilted language, and most of these characters have known each other. Yeah, because the formality is gone because they all have known each other for so long.
Yep.
So you just have people acting fantastically in these huge groups. It's a really big group of actors. Oh my God, it's just been fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Something to point out is George R.R. Martin has little to do with this season of the show. He has been a consultant, but not a writer for this show. So a lot could contribute to that as well. Which could also go to the fact of why, 3 episodes in, less and less people are dying. But probably. I mean, when it really comes down to it, there's not a lot left. Any death at this point would be a major plot, would literally turn the plot on its ear for most people, Yeah. Because if Arya dies, that's a big plot deal. If Sansa dies,
it's going down.
If Arya dies, what's his name from The Walking Dead there? Norman, what's his name?
Norman Reedus?
Yeah, if Norman Reedus died, she's the Norman Reedus of this show, I think, her and Jon Snow. And you're right, that Mark West says that is why it's moving faster. That is why everything's pulling together. More and more battles are happening. We're not waiting an entire season to see that Casterly Rock is sacked. We get Tyrell taken down and Casterly Rock in one episode, literally within 10 minutes.
Which is kind of insane.
Yeah, because
those are
after the big battle of people, we still have the big war of the White Walkers, because that's not going to be an in-passing thing. That's going to be a big deal because a lot is gonna have to do with that, and they can't just do that in an episode like they did, 2 seasons ago when we saw them for the first time. This is going to be a big deal,
right?
So Sansa, fucking Littlefinger is there, and he sees it. He's laying the seeds of
he's so good.
No, and then Sansa's, she's doing good. But she's gonna extend too far, and she's gonna listen to Littlefinger, and they're gonna fuck up, and the North is gonna fall while Jon Snow is gone.
I would disagree with that. I think that so? The advice that Littlefinger gave her was the most. He's a piece of shit. Yes. Just to clarify, absolute piece of shit. And he has his eye on 2 prizes: Sansa and the Iron Throne. Those are his prizes. That they've always been there. Yeah. That's what he's shooting for. But when it comes down to him being a horrible influence, I don't think so. Because besides his motivation being fucked, the advice he gave her was essentially play chess. Play chess with this place. Play chess with everything, and always be vigilant. Always have your eye on every prize you want and everything that you don't.
Fight them all. Don't focus on one battle. Fight them all. Yeah. Yeah.
So that when it happens, as weird as it might be, you already thought about it once. Which to me was him telling Sansa one thing, which is he's trying to get her to fall in under his sway. But in her, if you're looking at her, she has this really deep look at her face. She it looks like she's going, I need to do that. But what she's probably, and I would wager that what she's thinking about are the White Walkers securing the North and making sure, and maybe not bringing peace to the 7 kingdoms, but at least stopping everything so they can make it through the winter. At least with the focus on the White Walker piece. So I don't think it's going to bring down the North. I don't think it's going to cause everything to fall apart in the North. I think what that might end up doing is stabilizing the North while they prep.
I can absolutely see that. Sansa herself, I feel that she knows what she wants. She's ready for it. And I think she's just waiting for the moment that this is her moment, now that Jon Snow is gone, to be no, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it because I know what's best for everything. Bran coming back was a big deal. Arya,
are we switching to Bran?
Well, we can lead to Bran because, he's a weirdo now. But Arya coming back too is going to completely shift her paradigm. Sansa is now going to be even more no, wait a minute. Like, she is going to stand up. And you know, so Kara Casserole points out in chat, by the way, hello, Kara Casserole. She says, I think Sansa's going to fuck up. And I think, I still think that's the case, because I think she is going to be too confident. She's going to be too gung-ho. And she is going to fuck up somehow.
If anybody's going to fuck it up, it's going to be Arya coming back and pushing Sansa to do something
to
too
Cersei,
aggressively.
to be like, no, let's just go fight Cersei now. And yeah, Kara says, is Arya definitely coming back, though? I got the impression that that's where she's headed now that she learned that her brother and sister are still alive. Yeah, and Pidden just brought up that the next episode shows Arya outside of Winterfell, so yeah, that's the preview. I would assume that that's where she's heading, just because now that she's kind of learned that half her family is alive, that she's going to head that way. And I think so. I think so, and I think Arya is going to be that bug in Sansa's ear. Yeah.
And, don't get me wrong. I think it's going to completely. It's going to fuck up. It's going to implode. Right. Definitely not saying everything's going to be like rainbows and sunshine over there.
And she's just going to
Yeah. But the thing that I found interesting about, so Sansa showed herself in it was like the night of the women, and I loved it. You had Cersei going nuts and being awesome, and then you had Sansa showing a deep understanding of day-to-day life from a ruler standpoint that she's never really had a chance to show before.
Right.
So like she's walking around doing that tour, and then she points out that we don't have enough food. And she even says, like, what does that mean when they're talking about how many bushels? It's because she knows that there's something wrong there, but she doesn't have the experience to say it. But she's smart enough to pick it up.
To ask the right questions. Yep.
Right. And then as they're walking around, they're making armor. She goes, isn't there supposed to be leather on that?
Yeah. You know who she's starting to remind me of? Her mother, Catelyn Stark.
Yeah.
She's absolutely showing. I mean, she's been watching. She watched Cersei for years. She watched her mom and her dad for years. This is Sansa being like, yeah, I was paying attention. Like, I may have started the first 3 seasons.
Doe-eyed and
just being like, oh look, I'm the little girl here. She's like, but I was paying attention, and once she got to Cersei, she kind of had to pay attention, and Cersei did give her a lot of great advice. She really did. For as fucked up as Cersei was, she did teach her a lot. And Kara says, but that cockiness is going to fuck her over. It absolutely is. I don't know if it's going to be a devastating blow, but it's going to set them back a lot, and I could absolutely see that happening soon.
I'm not sure I'm seeing the cockiness you guys are talking about. I see a burgeoning confidence, but not a cockiness yet.
Well, I think it stems from the last 2 episodes where she kept being like, but no, Jon, like, no, me, like me. I think where she kept pushing Jon and kept being like, no. I think
but she's
that
not
was
wrong.
kind of where
Jon's the guy who doesn't have any experience in this field.
Right. I mean, I get that, but I think that's the idea of the cockiness, is that she is thinking that she is the solver of all the problems, and we just need to go ahead and attack, because that was her advice to Jon, was to we need to just be attacking Cersei right now, and Jon's like, yeah, that's not important right now. And I think that's that cockiness, or that bullheadedness, where she's just like, no, like right now, take revenge, take back our things, prove that we're the North is the true king, and that I think is what is going to be her downfall, the hubris, if you will.
Yeah, hubris.
Yes,
hubris.
But yeah, so Bran. Or the 3-eyed raven, who
he's so creepy now.
Learned that he's the 3-eyed raven from the 3-eyed raven.
That took a circular leap right there.
Yeah, and she was like, "Yeah, so what does that mean?"
Yeah, that goes back to the dialogue. That was so fantastic.
It was.
It's like, what does that mean? I thought you were the 3-eyed raven. It's just, it's a sister trying to understand her creepy younger brother.
Right, pretty much. And he, when he was like, and it was creepy because like he hasn't been this kind of creepy before, and then when he was like, "You look so pretty with your white wedding dress that night. It was a beautiful night," and she was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, that was a fucked up night, man. I got raped that night, man." Yeah,
Juggalette.
Yeah, hey sis, haven't
Sorry.
seen you in a while, so long. Except for I totally saw that happen to you. Sorry about
Yeah, I'm sorry you had to deal with the fact that you got raped. I was there.
that. Right. You're like, yeah, I
Couldn't
totally
do anything
watched.
about it, but
Yeah.
watch the whole thing. What? Why would you do that?
You're like, what? But I mean, so yeah, Brand, I like that he's like, oh yeah, where's John? I gotta talk to him too, because I'm fucking creepy now.
Yeah.
Psychic. But I mean, in all
Plot
fairness,
hole. Why
Brand is
didn't he
literally
know
going to
where
turn
John
this
was?
whole world upside down, because he is going to let loose knowledge, and everyone's going to be like, "Wait a minute, Jon Snow's really this? What?" And that's
but
going to
one-
change everything.
It will if people believe him, but
Right.
So the reason I was kind of like holding back on calling Sansa cocky is because she has really good political acumen. She can just kind of like pick
Yep.
things up. She knows when it's right, when it's wrong. It has good organizational acumen, can pull that all together. But what she didn't do, because it freaked her right the fuck out, because Bran's creepy,
Right.
is go, oh, if you can see everything.
Right.
Do you mean everything? Like,
And I think
where-
she's going to use that though. And Mark West brings
Yeah.
up a good point: is that was too much for her. That was like, oof, like that hit her in the heart because she's still sensitive about that. The same PTSD, in a sense that Reek is feeling, because that's really what's driving her, is that sort of revenge on the people that hurt
Yeah.
her. And then
The entire Stark family runs on revenge, apparently.
yes, they do. They do not give up. The North remembers. But
Oh my
yeah,
God.
now
just made the connection.
I can feel like I know, right? I feel like that is going to play a role, like in an episode or two, when she really starts like relaxing about it, and then that sort of like revenge starts kicking in again. I feel like she's going to be like, "Hang on, so you said that you can see everything that's happening now and everything that happened in the past," and she's going to be like, "We need to talk. You need to tell me what's happening. You need to tell me what's important." And I feel like that Bran is really going to be the third eye to pun it.
The third eye.
And he is going to help her. And, because again, he is the rightful eye. And, Kara brings up a really good point. Both Bran, Arya, and Sansa there is going to cause a lot of feelings for Sansa. In soon, and that all three of them being back is going to send a message to Cersei. The fact that there's now 3 Starks back,
Yeah. 3 Starks and a snow bastard.
and a Targaryen, and a half Stark, half Targaryen, because he's the father
he's actually
Targaryen,
the-
mother Stark.
Yeah, he's actually the rightful Lord of Winterfell. Because,
and of
yeah, he's the oldest son.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, is he of West? Well, technically, because he's the male heir, if you go that way.
Right.
But if it was just age based, I'm not sure who is, because his father was the crown prince, and Daenerys' father was the actual king.
Was the actual king, right? And we
So
don't
many-
know how old Daenerys versus Jon Snow is, do we? I mean, I guess we kind of do.
In the
Jon
books, I
Snow's
think they're
older than
close.
Daenerys. Jon Snow
Yeah,
has to be older
in the
than Daenerys.
books. In the books, no, I don't think so.
Yeah?
Because she is already born when the fighting starts.
Gotcha.
She's a baby in Dragonstone, and
Oh, yeah, because
Jon
her
was
and
born
her
during
creepy
fighting.
brother there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. When Bran lets loose who Jon Snow is, that is going to change everything. And a lot of people's thoughts on Jon. I could see people being like, "Ooh, wait a minute." But yeah, so
as
so
long
we
as
didn't see Arya.
his back, he'll be fine.
Right. So we didn't see Arya at all this episode, but we do know that she's coming next episode. We've already covered Jon Snow, Daenerys. Tyrion, a little part in this episode, but Tyrion I can see is starting to get frustrated with Daenerys's gung-ho-ness, because I think now we're getting into the territory where Tyrion, outside of military strategy, where Tyrion really strives, and that's politics and dealing with people. And Daenerys has never really had to deal with people.
No, she's always been go the hard route.
Right. She's always been like, look at my fucking dragons, now you're dealt with. or look at my, Dothraki army, now you're dealt with. But she's never had to, like, talk to people. And now she's getting into that, and Tyrion's like, listen, you gotta
and he's
trust
been warning
me.
her about this for seasons now.
Yes, and he
He's
has.
been warning her.
We talked about the Game of Thrones last season, when she named him Hand of the King. He said that. He was like, the Game of Thrones is not about battles. And that's an important fact.
Yeah, and he's trying to adjust her to that reality. But there's one thing I gotta point out, because it was fucking hilarious. When he says, a wise man once said, and I can't remember the quote, and she just looks at him, says, "Which one?"
Or was that you?
And he's like, "Are you trying?" God, I thought I wrote it down.
Yeah, he was like,
"Are you trying to pass your own statements off as ancient wisdom?" And he's like,
I would never
do that
with you.
to you."
And that's also important, because he loves her. He does.
Yeah.
But I think what I love about the fact that Tyrion loves her is that he loves her and respects her more than he loves her. And that's going to be super important in the event that Jon Snow and Daenerys fall in love. Because I can see that. They're planting the seeds. But I could see it not happening
they're each
at all.
other's ideal person. That's why. Now that we got them together, you're just like, damn it. This has been staged from the beginning. And
I know. Well,
when
when he explains it, he's like, yeah, you may have done all these things, but look, Jon Snow did basically the same thing, and without an army. And he did, you got your Dothraki, he's got his wildlings. You got your Unsullied, he got together every bannerman in the north that would stand against him. You were Queen of Marine, he was head of the Wall. Like there's those parallels, and I think
you've got dragons, he came back from the dead.
Right. Back from the dead. Motherfucker was dead. Got back up and started fighting.
Just swing the sword around.
Right.
It's great.
So that's going to be a big thing, and I think that's going to win her over, because she's going to learn about him coming back from the dead. It's going to happen. It has to be brought up. It's going to be brought up. It's going to be a facet, and it's going to draw her to him. It's going to draw her to him. I think she's going to fall in love.
That's going to backfire.
You think so?
I think so. I think it's going to cause the exact opposite. I think she lives on the idea that she is some sort of she's a god complex. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
She's a major god complex. So when it becomes clear that there might be a possible. What was that?
It says the woman that says all her titles every time she speaks.
Right. So she has this massive god complex. When if she finds out there's someone else who has a claim and has an experience that's similar to hers and can do something that she can't, I'm not sure it's going to end in true love. I think it's going to end very negatively for one of them or both of them.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they both live.
Yeah,
I don't think they're both going to die.
Might unite them. I just don't know if they're gonna. It's not gonna be like a love story. I think it might be. Yeah. It might be a marriage union for peace and such, but I'm not seeing it as a
happy ever after.
No.
So we brought up briefly Melisandre. We talked about her. We talked about Tyrion, Daenerys, Jon Snow. Fuck Reek. Fuck Euron. Han Solo, a sexual predator Han Solo. I love that.
It's perfect. It just fits in perfectly.
Samwell, we brought up Cersei. Jaime?
Jaime. I have a thing for Jaime. So Jaime has been doing all this. He's been the dedicated bannerman the last few episodes since the season began.
Yeah.
How many times has anybody said his name?
Right.
I don't think we've heard his name this season.
And I think because you remember, like, the first couple of seasons, all everybody could talk about was how amazing of a warrior Jaime Lannister was. How amazing of a leader of the army Jaime Lannister was. And this past season, he is nothing more than Cersei's dog. Jaime is. Yeah. Yeah. She fucks him when she wants. She sends him on missions when she wants to do her dirty work. Like, I think he's going to get pushed too far, And I mean, we've been talking about this. I brought this up the past 2 episodes. If anybody ends up killing Cersei, Jaime Lannister is my number 1 person that I assume will.
If it's not Arya, it's got to be him.
Yeah, I mean,
because he loves her too much for it to be anybody else.
He does, and that's absolutely the case. But I think she is going to push him. She's going to push him too far, and he's going to see. And Madame Tyrell brought it up that of who Cersei really is, and he kind of was like, yeah. At first, he was like, "You don't understand," blah blah, and then he was like, I mean, you're kind of right. And I think there's going to be something to that. He is willing to defy her because although Cersei Lannister will do nothing to protect her, will do anything to protect her family, at this point she doesn't have family left aside from Jaime. Jaime's it. I mean, in her eyes, Jaime Lannister is the last Lannister because
Tyrion's been dead to her for 4 seasons.
And absolutely, and Tyrion now is recused in Jaime's eyes because Jaime, they thought Tyrion was the one who poisoned Joffrey, and now that
I don't know if he's recused yet.
Well, I mean, in Jaime's eyes, now he knows that Tyrion wasn't the one that killed his son. Now all he has to answer for is going to Daenerys. But I think Jaime's smart enough to know that the only reason why he did was because his family ousted him. His family framed him and put him out,
Was that really the reason why he ended up with Daenerys?
It's the reason why he ended up leaving.
To back up a step, there was a... Oh shoot! I lost my thought.
With Jaime Tyrell.
Jaime Tyrell. Oh, you said that he's in. You didn't say he's in the clear, but you meant he's in the clear. The Tyrion, that is, in Jaime's mind. After hearing from Tyrell what actually happened.
Right.
I don't think so yet. We don't really know it yet. I think eventually he'll get there, but. He's not going to go tell... I don't think he's going to tell Cersei that.
You don't think so?
No, could you imagine that? That conversation? So it turns out that Olenna Tyrell is actually who killed Joffrey.
And not Tyrion, yeah.
Yeah, because everybody that she would kill to make up for it is already dead.
Yeah, aside from Tyrion.
Jaime. Yeah, but Jaime also allowed her to have a peaceful death.
This is true.
I'm not sure if Cersei's ever going to find out. Which means Tyrion
keeps that one to the hip. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's all he has. I mean, hell, like I said at the beginning, they don't even say his name anymore.
Right.
So what else does he have? All he has is this connection, and if that gets taken away from him, he's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, especially
he's lord of a. Yeah. He ends up being lord of a castle that is taken over by another army.
Right.
Yeah, he let happen.
Yes. Yep. Because childhood memories. That's it.
Yep.
Crazy. So what are predictions for specifically next episode? What do you think?
We have to close out first, real quick, with Olenna Tyrell.
Oh yes, Lady Tyrell.
She was that actress. She's fantastic.
She is. I'm sad to see her go. I am absolutely sad to see her go because she plays her part brilliantly.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
That's with such confidence and grace and like profanity when necessary. Yeah. It's just perfect.
Absolutely perfect.
But I love when he gave her the poison. After the army's taken over the castle and everything, gives her the poison, says it's going to be painless. As soon as she verifies it's painless, she chugs that thing down.
Oh yeah,
she sucks it down so quickly, and then she looks up at him and says, "I want you to know I killed your son."
Mm-hmm. And it was great to watch him choke and die. Yes, yeah, that was
I loved it. I loved it.
That was pretty fantastic.
It's like, that is the way she needed to go.
Yeah, and
that was fantastic.
I almost feel like she predicted that is how it would have happened. Like, I feel like she knew that they're not just going to storm in and cut her open. Like, I feel like she was like, they're going to give me a moment to talk, and I'm going to take my opportunity to let them know exactly what they need to know so they could live with that forever.
Yeah, she has been waiting to say that for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. And
proud of that.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Her saying it on her deathbed, the fact that he's already killed her. I mean, once he handed her the poison, he has killed her. He's done his mission. He's like, gotcha, I killed you. I did what I needed to do. And now the fact that she says, oh, and by the way, it adds that extra layer where now the reason he killed her was not the reason he would have wanted to kill her.
Right.
And I think it takes away the how he kills her, because then he's like, well, I would have. He wants to gut her. That's his son. You know, Joffrey was his son, his firstborn son.
Yeah, I thought he was going to gut her.
I expected the sword flying out and her head go flying, but I think he was just so like, what, that he didn't know what to do. You know. And I think that is that speaks a lot to her, because now she knows he's going to carry that with him, because he didn't get his revenge. Like, he killed her, but not for the reason that he should have, because he just didn't.
It does make me respect Jaime a little bit more too.
Yes,
because he doesn't gut her.
Right, and I think that shows his emotion, and which is, I think, what is going to get him. You're going to see that emotion. That's what's going to tip him to want to kill Cersei, is that emotion that Jaime does actually care. He has love. It's not just, filial piety. It is straight love.
Yeah. He understands empathy, which is something Cersei has traditionally and persistently not been able to do.
Right. She has yet to show that she has it, even though she says that she had it when she had the Dornish, queen down locked in the tower or whatever, but she didn't at all.
No, that's not what that was.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jaime realized he lost. He did. He absolutely lost. And that final statement of saying, hey, I'm the one that actually killed your son, that made all her previous statements about how awful Cersei Lannister is, or how awful Cersei is, that made them, I think, almost true. Where he was like, no, you don't understand. He's like, you don't understand. Like, yeah, you may think she's that, but to me, she will always be my sister, and I will always love her. And then, Lady Tyrell says that, and she's like, that's it. That throws his whole world, off kilter. And I think that's going to be the changing point for Jaime.
I guess I can see that, because she did say very explicitly that I have done horrible things, and I never lost a night of sleep over it. Mm-hmm. But Cersei has done things that I could never even conceive.
Absolutely. And that is important. That's an important fact that Jaime, I think, now is going to take to heart. And I think he's going to start recognizing the things that Cersei does as being malicious and a virus, over the top. That before he was like, you're just doing what you had to do because we're Lannisters and we have to protect our family. Now he's going to be like, well, hang on. Your actions caused our entire family to die. Like, your actions are the reason all of our kids are dead. Your actions are the reason why our father is dead. Like, because it is on Cersei. It's on Cersei. For a lot of it.
Not her father being dead.
Well, not her father, but I mean, it's true. So I think that's going to be a big factor. And I'm rooting for Jaime Lannister to stand up to his sister and kill her, but we'll see.
It'll be interesting if it happens. Right. I know everybody really wants to see Jaime Lannister kill Cersei. That's and I'm a proponent of that. I'm just Arya waiting. Arya would be so much more better.
Or we could get a twofer, and it could be Arya as Cersei, as Jaime.
That would be interesting.
That would be cool, because that's very likely.
So you wanted to go over predictions.
Yeah, so predictions. I think, for just next episode, and obviously some of this is based on the trailer we saw for the next episode. Bran is going to reveal who Jon Snow really is, and that's going to change Jon Snow's... I don't think it's going to change his course of action, but I think it's going to change his mindset. Because Jon Snow is not a guy where name means anything. Jon Snow's the guy that he wants to protect out of... he's always willing to protect people just out of protection, not because he's like, well, because I'm a Stark, well, because I'm a Targaryen. He's like, no, just because it's the right thing to do. But I think that's going to give him that extra little like, oh, like this is where I'm from. This makes a lot of sense. So I think that's going to be a reveal next season or next episode. I think that'll be next episode. I know it's early, but I truly believe it's going to happen next episode.
I would love to see a focus on the Stark reunion, getting all the actual like legit Stark kids in the same room, and having them maybe even have Bran come out of whatever fucked up comatose state he's in right now, so that they can actually interact, because we haven't seen them all together since I think the King's Robe in season 1.
Yeah, well, when Arya got sold off as Aya, I think that was it. Everybody went their separate ways in that arc. So yeah. So I'm hoping it's more of a focus on that, and then probably the following episode is the reveal for Jon. I mean, God, we waited this long; it's not a surprise. No one's gonna be weirded out by it. But that there's gonna be a lot of fulfillment in getting that familial connection with the Starks. It's a pack reunion. I mean, that's what it is. It's a bunch of wolves coming together, and it's the wolves at that.
The actual wolves. I mean, I think Bran's going to real wolves. Bran's wolf is still out there, right?
Bran's wolf's still out there. Ghost is still out there, and now we know Nymeria is still out there. Arya's wolf.
Yeah. So it'd be pretty fantastic if they all showed up, and maybe even, it's been a long time. Well, I don't know if they've ever done it on the TV show, but in the books, Jon would periodically, while he was sleeping, he would
go into Ghost.
I think it's a verb, warg into Ghost. So it'd be really neat to have them all kind of get together again. One more time.
Just brings up in chat, Bran's wolf died fighting the dead in Hold the Door. So.
Hidden, you just ruined my night, man. Just ruined my night. I forgot about that. I'm gonna have to cry myself to sleep.
God damn. Pocahontas, by the way, thank you for that follow, lady, and welcome to the Fight Club. But I mean, nonetheless, the wolves are back at home, so I absolutely could see that's going to happen. You're going to see the Stark rise again, and I think that's going to change a lot of other people's opinions once the word gets out that all of the Starks are there. Well, all of the remaining Starks are still alive and there. I think you're going to see some banners turn away from Cersei. When they're like, oh wait, Sansa's alive. Oh wait, Arya's alive. Wait, Bran is alive, and Jon Snow's there. Hang on.
Oh shit, they're almost all there.
Yeah, that's half
so
of
only
the Stark.
2 of them died.
Yeah,
that's really not that bad.
And if Catelyn Stark comes back from the dead, like she does in the book,
she's not going to in the TV. You know she's not.
I know.
I really want her to. I would love to see her just show up and walk through.
That would be pretty fantastic. Man. Truthfully,
that's the only reason why I'm holding off for reading. Once the next 2 seasons finish, because the next book's still not going to be done by then. That's the only reason I'll read the books.
It'll be the end of next year, so there'll be one more season before it happens. Yeah.
Yep.
But crazy. So I think next episode is we're going to see the turn of a lot of houses. I think a lot of people's minds are going to be kind of blown next episode. Character-wise, the characters' minds are going to be blown. Predictions? Anything you want to add?
I think a dragon's going to die.
I could see that. Absolutely. I think that's inevitable. Yeah.
I think it's going to be Drogon, too. I don't think it's going to be one of the little ones. I think it's going to be Drogon.
That would be unfortunate.
It would be really unfortunate.
But yeah, I think I'll agree with you. I think that's absolutely inevitable. So, cool. All right. Well, thank you.
It could be awesome if Viserys.
This is true.
There's possibly 3. In the books, Tyrion has almost white blonde hair, and it's hinted that his mother was actually raped by a Targaryen.
Yeah, which could be true, but probably not. They probably won't go to that stage.
They definitely haven't gone there in the TV show, but there's a possibility it might happen in the books.
Absolutely. All right, well, Mr. Mike Wyan Jr., I want to thank you very much for joining me. Guys, don't forget, command guest in chat. If you guys want to get a link to... If you guys want to get a link to Mike's Amazon page, make sure to check out Immortal and all those other things that are coming out. And don't forget to join me next week, where my guest will be Petty PhD himself, Dr. Dooley. So thanks a lot for... Yes, Dr. Dooley.
There you go, Dr. Dooley.
Thanks very much for joining me, guys. I hope to see you next week, immediately following the episode. Thanks for joining us for our chat of the Queen's Justice. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, folks.